Hello everybody, my name is Charlie and you are watching X2. Today I wanted to show you something quite neat. Now this is in reference to a video released yesterday where we covered the mysterious Xyston-Class Star Destroyer found in the code of Empire at War Remake. However, there is more to the story as we found another Xyston-Class ship. Now this video took quite some in-depth looking through code, so if you love all things Star Wars, Empire at War, or just general goofiness between myself, Eckhart's Ladder and Corey Loses, be sure to hit that subscribe button so you never miss a video. Yesterday we streamed us getting drunk and playing Uno. It was an absolute blast having all of you guys there, so if you're not subscribed, hit that button so we can see you in the next one. Now originally the ship was hidden behind a tech level 99, making it impossible to build as the Empire. But further down we see the secondary Xyston class, but as a hero ship. It pulls some of the same stats as the original Xyston class, but the differences here show that most of the hardpoints have been swapped. We see all the laser cannons and turbo lasers be replaced with heavy sonic missiles and more. Which begs the question if we're seeing some sort of Xyston-II Class Star Destroyer, much like how the Victory 1 and 2 SD differences are found in the swap from missiles to turbo lasers. What's even more interesting is that we see the presence of a magma pulse missile launcher, which is a type of missile that has a short stun effect and doesn't specifically damage anything. But with the details explained, let's compare the ships together. Okay, so here we have the Xyston. So just for simplicity's sake, I am going to call the turbo laser version of the Xyston class the Xyston-I and the missile variant as a Xyston-II, just again for simplicity and clarity. So here we have the Xyston-I and we can deploy in the, let me get this in the top down view so we can somewhat keep them on a similar z-axis kind of. So if I quickly resume game, we're against quite a big fleet here, so I am again just going to quickly pause so we don't get attacked. So as you can see with the Xyston-I, we have our turbo laser batteries, as you can see here, single laser cannon battery, single turbo laser battery, and again single laser cannon battery. We've also got some heavy single turbo laser batteries here, and heavy dual ion cannon batteries, so on and so forth, and you've got your tractor beam emitter, as you would expect. But over here we can see that some things are quite different. We can see that we've got our heavy sonic missile launchers here now, and I believe is that, yeah, that's our magma pulse missile launcher. So applies 75% firepower and speed debuff to all classes for 120 seconds. So this is quite significant, and I would say this is quite a stronger ship in a way, just because that is such a long speed debuff for people to really catch up on whoever you're targeting. Although when I really come to think about it, it doesn't really matter too much because this super laser has such a range, and I wouldn't see much use in using this unless you're bringing it into the front line, and you don't want to bring a Xyston into the front line. If you watched our previous video on this, you'd have noticed that it was much more beneficial to have it on the back line. Just because of the immense range on this on these super lasers. But again, if we just take off all the UI, we can see that this is pretty much identical to its sister model over here. I wouldn't be surprised if it's just literally using the same model for this. But it's interesting to like kind of consider that this could be like seen as a fan-made Xyston-II ship, and why these changes were made. So I don't know, I found it quite fascinating, because this does fall under a hero ship, but of course you don't really see it as a hero ship. They both have the exact same descriptions. I've checked this before. Just nothing. I had to literally give it a different price so I wouldn't mistake it for, you know, the Xyston-I, if we're going to keep that naming convention. But again, as we go into this fight, guys, my question of the day is, which Xyston do you prefer? Do you prefer the Xyston-I or do you prefer the Xyston-II? And again, these aren't official names. I'm just doing this just for simplicity's sake. But yeah, what one do you prefer? Do you prefer the turbo laser one, or do you prefer the missile? missile one. Again, it's only using 2 heavy sonic missile launchers. Again, after all that, it's still using laser cannon batteries as normal. It's just on where the points that matter, you've got the quad ion cannon battery on either side here, and a single turbo laser battery on the front of the hull. So again, you're going to be able to see the super lasers in action here once it gets into range. Fighter's just getting some vision for us. So yeah, let's see if the lasers are any different. I wouldn't expect them to be, but there you go. You're already seeing some damage. Xyston-II is not seeming to fire any super lasers yet. We've got a big fleet over here, so I'm not too worried about not having enough targets. One thing I did notice, somebody did mention to me in the comments, is that you can right-click place and then actually move the cursor into where you want that ship to be pointing. So you can see that the Bezier curve here just tilts. So you can see that the ship is going to be facing that way. That was super useful. So again, I could have it pointing downwards. So you saw me cast the mouse downwards, and it does exactly that. So I'm going to turn it away just because I want to see... I want to see the Xyston-II shoot its super laser. I'm not sure... Oh, and here we go. We can see the missiles being used here. Hopefully we'll be able to use the heavy magma pulse at some point too. So, are we going to see any form of super laser? Again, we're seeing it on the Xyston-I. Nothing on the Xyston-II yet. And it's definitely got the hard point right in between the 2 hangars here. Oh, there we go. Okay, it did use it. And it's using its tractor beam as well. We're seeing the missiles in use. Really good to bypass shields. So we're not having a hard target shield generator hard points. Really good when you're taking out larger structures. But of course, we're having a lot of fighters swarming these 2 ships, making it pretty difficult to win. But we can auto-resolve after we take out these 2 dreadnoughts. Hoping to see... There we go, the tractor beam in use. Is this the magma pulse? Am I seeing this from the Xyston? And it just completely got destroyed. I saw all the hard points go down one at a time. One thing I'm really interested in as well is to see if destroying the super laser, would that be seen as you know, like, is that something, if you destroy that super laser, would it destroy the whole ship? Would it follow in line with canon, you know, from the films? I don't think it would, specifically, because you can't really treat it like a shield generator, but for hit points. I think it happened to the Xyston-II there, because all of its hit points went down to 50%. I'm wondering if that's what caused it, because the super laser's been nerfed. Obviously, to make it playable. It would just be way too strong if it followed canon. So I'm assuming that's the payoff as well, you know, it's not in such a danger that if the super laser gets destroyed, the whole ship implodes. But yeah, okay, so we'll finish up this match, and we'll move into the next one. So here we can see that I've forced it down to a tech level 1. And we've got the laser one at, or the Xyston-I, sorry, at 1 credit, and the Xyston-II at 2 credits. So we're going to put these in a fleet, put them side by side, you know, with an Imperial, and just see how well they're both the missile and the laser versions cope with a decently sized fleet against it. So we're going to build these. Build super quick because I've modified the XML code to do so. Speed up things. Let's bring these guys in. Okay, here is the Xyston-I. Let's bring in the rest. Xyston-II 2. So, am I right? No, okay, so they're both 10. Okay. I thought one might have been more than the other, but no, they're pretty much identical other than the hard points, really. Including the health points and shield points, they're exactly the same as one another. It's just the hard points changing from turbo lasers to missiles. So we're gonna drop some of these guys in. I mean, we can drop everyone in, really. Pierre. So again, here's a victory with the victory 1 with the missiles. Oh, don't want Palpin. God no. There we go. So it's not bad of a fleet, pretty small for now, but it's a good place to start. Already getting some tractor beam usage from the Xyston-I here. Oh, I didn't know they could target small ships like that. Can't see any use of the super laser though. I don't think it can fire a super laser at a ship that small. Unless I'm wrong, of course. But I don't think so.
Yes, Commander.
Get some underside of the ship here. Yeah, it's not using its super laser at all. What about Xyston-II? I really can't see any differences here on the model. And even on the hard points. And again, that's the Xyston-I up close. You can see the you can see the iron cannons right there in the center of the ship. Pretty much identical. I couldn't even tell you the difference. Lovely model though, I've got to say. But yeah, guys, let me know what you think in the comments down below. So that was the Xyston-I and the Xyston-II. So in future episodes, we're going to be trying to pit these ships together against other specific ships. We're going to try and test out if whether or not destroying that cannon, that the super laser cannon, would destroy the entire ship as well, just like a shield generator would do with its shields. And yeah, maybe try it against an Eclipse Super Star Destroyer, see which super laser will do the most damage. But yeah, guys, I have been Charlie, you have been watching X2, and thank you very much for watching. See you in the next one.